This is Urasawa Boys, a podcast where we read and discuss the works of manga artist and author Naoki Urasawa. Right now, we're reading Monster, and Monster deals with a lot of dark and troubling topics and themes, so a list of content warnings is going to be available in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Welcome back to Urasawa Boys.
Welcome back.
We're the boys. You're Urasawa, and
you've done that one before.
I have done that one.
Yeah.
Have you guys been who's fuck? I forgot his name. The other guy. Takashi.
Nagasaki.
Yeah, Nagasaki. You guys aren't Urasawa. You're Nagasaki this time. Yeah, it is Nagasaki.
Okay. Wow. I'm glad I pulled that. That's exciting for me.
Yeah, so no, you're not Urasawa, you're not the one who writes these things, but you are his kind of like co-writer.
You're crucial to the process.
Absolutely crucial. You do a whole lot to like bring that geopolitical edge to things. Ooh. And thank God for that. You know what I just realized? I am recording in stereo.
That's okay. We can split you down to mono. You don't need to stop it.
Yeah, so that's what's up with you guys. I hope you're having fun with that. What's up with us? What's up with you, Matt?
Hey, well, I've got a mustache still. We've crossed
and I noticed that it's like you cleaned it up.
I did, yeah. It was getting I went to a wedding last weekend, so I got the sides of my hair was getting kind of crazy. So I got my hair cleaned up a little bit, and I've taken I shaved this morning, so that's kind of why I'm looking clean except for mustache. But I feel like I've crossed the Rubicon of like, now the mustache just really makes me look like a cop is the problem.
Yes,
so
I would agree, especially when it's well maintained.
Yeah, I need to get rid of it. I think
I think the wedding was its high point.
I mean,
do you want to tell the listeners about? Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to one of my old coworkers' weddings, and I hadn't seen him since I started growing the mustache, and we're at like 2+ months now on this sucker. And so I mean, there were a bunch of people that I hadn't seen in a long time. And listeners, I don't think I've mentioned this, but like what I've learned in the past couple of weeks is that dudes love the mustache. Like, Quinn came and visited, and we were out, and guys were like pointing and cheering at the mustache, and like it was the same at the wedding. Like, there were a bunch of people. One of the groomsmen had a mustache that was like, I mean, look, it was a good effort, but his mustache was nothing compared to mine. And he came up to me, he's like, I really thought I was going to be the guy with the mustache at this wedding, but like, gotta hand it to you. A bunch of people were like, Matt, we didn't recognize you with that mustache. You're looking real cool. Father of the bride at one point called me over and was like, I just wanted to say, I've been asking everyone all night, who is that guy with the mustache? He looks so cool. So that was kind of that was like the high point. But anyway, so it's the inverse. Well, not the inverse. Maybe is it the converse? I don't remember. I was never good at like those logic things where it's like, it's the contrapoint or something where it's like, guys love the mustache. I do not think women like the mustache, and I think probably the fact that it makes me look like a cop is probably part of it. It's not helping.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been, so the mustache is probably biggest thing. I mean, it was my birthday on Wednesday, so I'm 28 now. Another year closer to death.
Indeed.
Well, I mean, we've talked about how you believe, is it your 100th birthday that you think you're gonna die on?
No, it's not that I think I'm going to die. It's more that I have evidence that suggests I will make it to around there. So It's just a useful heuristic.
Gotcha. I thought it was like one of those things where it's like, this is like, for a long time in high school, I was like, I'm going to die standing up. Just because I thought it was funny. Yeah.
That is funny. You're right. That is funny.
When I was moving, I found a piece of paper that I had signed and had my best friend sign as well, and we dated it, and it said, Matt Fennell will die standing up.
Well, was it, I remember in middle school, I had some friends that literally, like, signed their soul away for a piece of notebook paper. Like, somebody wrote up a contract.
That has always like
Sold for
freaked me out too much
paper.
because I am just enough
Right.
of like a good boy evangelical Christian who grew up during the Satanic Panic where like that. I mean, and here's another Bonnaroo story. So we went to the Liquid Death tent during Bonnaroo. Okay.
Right.
Liquid Death, their gimmick at Bonnaroo was they set up what they called the Liquid Death Country Club, which they built like this fancy little country club out in the middle of Bonnaroo, and it had gold statues and ivy, and it just was this really fancy looking building. And to get in, there was a sign that said, "Sell your soul, join the country club." And you scanned with your phone on a QR code, and it pulled up this like it looked like a legally binding contract. And you put in your email, and then you say, "I, the undersigned, sign over my soul to Liquid Death," and then they scan your phone and let you in. And Quinn, I'm going to be perfectly honest. There have been a couple nights where I've woken up and been like, shouldn't have sold my soul to that sparkling water company.
I don't think I would have done it.
I mean, I got a really
cool
fake neck tattoo.
You did. That would have been that did seem worth it.
It was really cool. I'll post a picture of it. They gave me a couple bottles of sparkling water. I've got a shirt now. So, but honestly, look, do I believe that the Lord has the power to save from liquid death? I do. I think I'm fine.
That's
like,
you're probably right.
My
there.
theology, I think, works out in my favor.
The clutches of the devil may be a little bit difficult, but the clutches of the Liquid Death Sparkling Water Corporation, I
think I'm fine. I think
maybe Jehovah's got that handled.
So that's a lot about me.
It's funny we bring up selling your soul though, because there is a little bit of that happening here in this reading. Just a teensy, but it's an interesting bit of connection there. What's going on with me? There was something I was going to tell you about. Oh, I wanted to bring up. I don't know how many of our listeners here are like Cape comic fans, but if you aren't watching My Adventures with Superman, wow, you are sleeping hard on some of the best like superhero cartoons to come out in the last 20 years. I just watched the new episode. Ooh.
Okay, so it wasn't out when I went this morning. Like, I made a cup of coffee this morning and sat down to watch it, and it wasn't on Max yet. Yeah, so I was like, weird. Quinn lied to me. They said it comes out at midnight.
It should have been out. It should have been out by midnight.
Maybe the Max app is broken.
Like 2 p.m. your time.
Okay.
But yeah, really good episode. Seriously, I'm really enjoying it because like it has been a while since I saw someone do something I would really call fresh with DC mythos, much less Superman mythos. And just seeing them reinterpret all this stuff and add in new stuff besides, it's just awesome. It's just really cool.
That's like my favorite. This is what I really liked about like New 52, and they had that other one.
Yeah.
Was it Earth 1 is what they called it, where they would do like the standalone graphic novels that were like origins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Earth 1 stuff is really cool. The Green Lantern Earth 1.
I liked Green Lantern Earth 1 a lot. I liked the Batman Earth 1. I think if on a reread that one would not hold up as well. But one of my favorite things about
was like fine. Like it's Morrison and it was interesting.
Was it Morrison? Morrison did the Wonder Woman.
I think it was Morrison. That's what I was just talking about.
Oh, I was talking about the Batman.
Oh yeah, I don't know who did Batman.
Yeah, it
Jeff.
was.
Might have been Jeff.
I think it was no. It was was it Brian Azzarello?
Ooh.
It seems like something he would have written. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it was like a kind of a weird not Mr. Zsasz. Mr. Zsasz was the
and who did Green Lantern one? Now I know.
Keith.
Now I want to know. Oh, Keith something was it?
Batman.
Writers.
No, Batman was Jeff Johns. You were right. Batman was Jeff Johns.
Go me.
Green
I
Lantern.
should read that because I feel like I haven't. Yeah, Gabriel Hartman.
Yeah. It was a real like Alien kind of feel to it a little bit, like
very
blue collar space. But the reason I brought that up was I always really like when it's like, okay, we're doing DC Universe from first principles, because it's like, how are you gonna do this stuff that I know?
Exactly.
Like, how are the things that I like gonna show up?
And they keep knocking it out of the park. This most recent episode, I won't. Well, I won't
don't spoil it, because I'm gonna watch it this evening probably.
Yeah. But listeners, strong rec from me. All right. Well, that seems like good preamble. Seems like good pod. What do we want to do about Monster here, folks? Folks, we are getting into it. We're heading into it. This is the fourth to last episode.
Wow.
Technically fifth if you include the wrap up, but it's our fourth to last. So this is the first half of Volume 8, and then there's the second half of Volume 8, and then there's Volume 9, and then we're done.
There's only a couple more episodes where I don't know how this ends.
Yeah.
Soon, I too will be cursed with knowledge, as Range Touch likes to say.
I would definitely say that being cursed with knowledge for Monster, like, what a series where you really do want it to all go away. You want to read it again.
I've been really enjoying it. It's been a delight. And honestly, I've been waiting to read the next part for a long time. Before we started recording, I mentioned it's been a while since we recorded. I looked at the timestamp on our recording for episode 14. That was July 14. Almost a full month ago.
And you know what? I was feeling it. I was writing the notes, and I'm like, I don't remember how to write these.
Yeah, it was. It took me a minute. I had to do them.
I feel like I haven't written very many, but this is an interesting little reading. I'm excited for the wrap-up episode where we tier all the volumes.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
This one's exciting, but I don't think there's as much conceptual for us to talk about.
Not even close to as much. I think this one's fun. It's a good reading, but definitely it's not doing nearly as much heavy lifting. There is one piece of extremely heavy thematic lifting, like one new concept it introduces that I think is very important.
Okay.
But kind of aside from that, this reading feels a lot to me like trajectory adjustment. Like, here is where we're trying to go, and Urasawa's just like using the maneuvering jets to make sure that we stay on target, and like we already have the momentum. He doesn't have to worry too much about maintaining momentum. He just needs to make sure that we stay on target. That's kind of how this reading feels to me.
Okay. Yeah. I talked about a roller coaster last time, and I think maybe it was like, we were going up the hill. I think maybe we did like a little hill, like a little whoop, and now we're getting ready to go up again for the big one.
Way back. Yeah. I think that's a very good way of putting it. And to dip, I mean, the Martin chapters at the start of this reading are so fucking good.
The dude continues to be an all-timer.
Absolute all-timer.
He might be so cool that he works in detriment to his role in the story. Like, I think Urasawa also realizes, like, this is the coolest dude ever. And then I think that hurts how he's used.
He's way too cool.
Yeah.
He's way too cool for this manga. It's so funny to have him in the same room as Tenma, because it's obvious which one of them is the main character.
Oh, the way that it makes Tenma look, it's incredible what it does to it. So we should just get into it, because
absolutely. Okay, let's jump into chapter 123. Party's over. And this chapter is very simple. Martin is at a diner run by an old prison buddy of his. Tenma's also there. He's been coming in recently and asking after Martin. Martin beats Tenma the fuck up. Tenma's like, hey, what's up with Ava? And Martin just beats him up. And then Martin and Ava are at a party. And Ava says, I'm probably done with parties now. Martin returns to the diner. Tenma's there. Tenma pulls a gun. Tenma with a gun in a diner. And talks to Martin a bit. And Martin says that at the party, Ava did something a little unusual this time. She pointed at someone. She pointed at a young, handsome, blonde guy. And Tenma says, you idiot. She's served her purpose. And Martin realizes that she's in grave danger. He rushes to his boss, And his boss says, just in time. And he hands her a gun. No, he hands him a gun. And he tells him to kill her with it. Party's over.
Yeah, dude, this rules. I mean, like...
Oh, yeah.
First of all, I cannot imagine that a diner like this exists in Germany, right? This feels like a distinctly American kind of diner.
It is a hilariously American diner.
Yeah.
To exist in Germany. That said, I'm certain that
maybe
probably still do. You know, or that game that came out. Wanted Dead.
Don't know this one.
You don't know, Matt, you've got to check out some videos about Wanted Dead. What a wild fucking game. It's like wannabe Metal Gear. The voice acting is all goddamn terrible. It's like, oh man. It's really interesting. Anyway, the reason I bring it up is that a core location of this game is an American-style diner, which is I don't know where it's set. Is it set no, the characters are German. The characters are German, but it's set in Hong Kong, I think.
Okay. But it's in an American diner. Yeah, I mean,
game.
like,
anyway,
I guess
an American
you're right.
diner.
American diner is a specific type of novelty thing, and like that paired with the fact that like the opening conversation is about like how exactly a guy likes his cheeseburger. It's like this is Pulp Fiction. This is Tarantino. We're
Too
continuing
many pickles
to do
on
it,
and I'll kill you. Yeah, it's a great line. It is
well,
fun.
And I love that he's like,
course,
give me the usual, and the dude is like, I cannot even begin to comprehend what that would be. You're like, he's
yeah, totally. I checked, of course, Stearns does not exist.
Okay.
I've taken it upon myself.
Every time a restaurant shows that, well, I made note of the name because I figured you would do it. Like,
yeah.
I didn't search for it, but I figured you would.
Yeah, Master Keaton has a lot of that for us to do.
Okay.
So Stearns isn't real, but yeah, this whole sequence with Tenma looking like dog shit. And he's like, "Hey, where's Ava?" And Martin just absolutely no mercy, just fucking bam, bam, bam. Tenma doesn't even try to fight back.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible how much of a creep it makes Tenma seem like when we see him in this angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like NPC behavior, right? Like, I mean, like you said, he looks terrible. The diner owner's like, he's been coming in here every day. He has this like super flat affect when he's talking to him, and like you said, Martin beats the shit out of him. And to be honest, Tenma deserves it. Like, you are not doing this right, my dude. If like we've seen him do like tailing people and figuring things out well, like he is failing here, and he looks like a creep.
Absolutely.
He comes off as a creep.
Absolutely. And Martin even gets a couple of good lines while he's beating Tenma up. Like when he throws Tenma out and Tenma's like, "Where's Ava?" And Martin's just like, "Beat it." It's so fucking cool. It's so fucking cool. Like, yeah, and you're like, "Damn, Tenma, you really jeez."
Yeah. It's good. Well, and like, okay, maybe there's something we can dig into with that, right? Where it's like, this is a character so powerful that, like you said, he has become the protagonist. There's something to that, right? Because, like, you know, in the last chapter, we saw Ava was trying to dress him up like Tenma. I think that's like different. I don't think I don't think this is like, this is why Tenma seems like such a sad sack, because we have new Tenma who's hot and Brad Pitt and cool. But I do think that it's interesting that he is so magnetic that just by all comparisons, Tenma is less interesting.
I think there is something to that, and there is something to the idea that we've been talking about recently of Tenma not being a thriller protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And being placed in these roles in this story, like he's doing protagonist stuff, but he isn't really one. And this is another good example of Tenma being somewhere and doing something that no self-respecting protagonist would ever fucking do. No one born does not go to a diner and get beat up by a bodyguard.
Well, I haven't seen those movies in a couple years, but I seem to remember it starts with he's been shot a bunch of times and is floating in the middle of the ocean. which that feels
That's
adjacent.
different. That's different. That's thriller protagonist problem.
Okay, I guess you're right.
Right?
That is
right.
Yeah,
This because you can get shot a bunch and be in the middle of the ocean, and that can be cool.
but you don't get your
Tenma
ass
is
kicked.
not cool. Like, you don't just lurk in a diner and no, man.
Well, and then
It's
when he comes back and when he pulls the gun on Martin, that's like school shooter behavior. Like, what are you doing?
Fuck. He just pulls the gun, and it's like, well, thank God there's nobody else in this fucking diner. Jesus Christ. You know, it is Tenma's not doing good.
No.
Tenma is not doing good.
The other thing that I thought about with these Martin chapters, and, we said Tenma's not a thriller protagonist. I am honestly really curious. We might have to do this in the final episode. I am curious what percentage of the chapters in this story is Tenma the main perspective character. Because originally, it's like we follow Tenma through the burning of the Frankfurt Quarter.
Yeah,
and then almost every arc is like, there's a new character that's introduced. And because we started saying it then, it was like, Tenma's here, he's back. And it feels like every volume, it's like we only get like 1 or 2 Tenma chapters, except for when he was going to shoot Johann in the library. It's like we focus back in on him there, and then it's just like he slips out again. So it's...
he was the main character, and I guess, maybe now he's not. Maybe now he's just a really important one. My
feeling is by the end he will be the main character again, because he was in the middle, like as the first kind of season wrapped up. And I think it will be at the end the same thing. But I do think it's interesting how little he's been in large chunks of this story. Yeah,
like he's the character that the story always returns to. He's like the center point, the hinge, the axis on which everyone else is kind of revolving and sort of moving around. It's like Tenma always has the first move. He does something, and then everyone else gets to do their thing, and then we're like, okay, back to Tenma. It's like the turn order gets back to the start. It is a really interesting structure to have for a story, and I just last night I finished The Expanse, the most recent Expanse book, and so that's also something that's been on my mind, is that decentralized, bunch of viewpoint characters, Game of Thrones, let's bounce around the world and see what's happening. It's one of my favorite ways for a story to be told. I love Baccano, that's an anime that really, like, revels in that. I wonder how much Urasawa likes The Usual Suspects.
I actually don't think that's a movie that I've seen. That's the Kevin Spacey one?
Yeah.
Because I mix it and Reservoir Dogs up. Yeah, I know the bit in The Usual Suspects, but have not seen it.
Then again, isn't Usual Suspects Rashomon? Isn't like one of those, isn't like there's like some story that
I don't think it's Rashomon,
that a bunch
but I
of
think it
people
does something.
talk about the same thing. But it's so like I'm not sure like what the source is, but it's interesting. It's a very fun kind of story structure that I love wherever it shows up, and it's cool the way it's done here.
Mm-hmm. I love ensemble stories, right, where we have lots of characters, and like you said, then you can do lots of different genres and stuff like that. And that's, I think, been one of the major strengths of this story. So it's interesting. And we talk about how much we love every new character that gets introduced. They're our favorite. I mean, with few exceptions, but like this has been a good driver for this story.
Definitely. Well, and you know what else is interesting is that, like, thinking about other Urasawa stuff, I don't think he does this genre exploration deal the same way in his other stuff. Like, his other stuff is really explorations of a single genre, but Monster is this total patchwork. And other stories of his, even though they share the huge cast, I don't think we see this explicit mixture of genres the way that we do here. I could be wrong, but based on my memories, I think that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Do you have any other notes other than like?
I just love Martin.
Yeah.
The moment when Martin realizes what Tenma's saying and realizes that Ava's in danger and like leaves. He leaves without saying a word.
Springs
he
into
has
action.
To go. I like that a lot.
There's a good shot, and I was trying to figure out where it's from because it's definitely come up in the story a couple times where he stands up at the table when he realizes what's happening, and it's him standing tall, eyes wide open, and his mouth is kind of flat, drawn tight. We're looking up at him. There's another shot of who is the doctor that Dieter lived with, Hartman.
Yeah.
There's a shot of Dr. Hartman looking down at Dieter that looks kind of like this. So this has got to come from something else. I don't know what movie or comic this shot is originally from.
But he does like to use it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool when it pops up. For some reason, it always makes me think of Frankenstein. I don't know why in my head that is the thing that pops in there. But yeah, it's a cool series of shots. And then again, the realization that like, oh, he was always going to be the one that they were going to send to kill her. Like, when he shows up, they're like, here's the gun. Yeah, right. Go do it.
Yeah. Poor Martin.
Poor Martin.
124.
The man who saw a devil. Hang on, let me scroll.
Scroll away, big guy.
Smoky saxophone overlays another noir narration.
Oh, yeah.
The party was like any other. The smell of alcohol, the smell of perfume, ridiculous small talk, meaningless laughter, except for that moment, the same as ever. That moment, Ava pointed at someone. And that someone, of course, is Johan. Upon Ava's identification, the man with glasses and a young man approach Johan and introduce themselves. Martin reflects on how Ava has now served her purpose as he stands outside her hotel room with the gun and his orders to kill her. He enters the room, and Ava's ready for him, drunk. She muses on the fact that it was him that was sent to kill her, and that she's ready, and he should just go ahead and do it and kill her the same way that he killed his girlfriend. Martin asks Ava to run away with him, and she laughs and asks why, to which Martin replies that he can't kill another person. Ava asks if he could kill a devil, because that's what she believes she is, especially for how she dressed him up like Tenma. She speculates that she did a terrible thing, identifying Johan, bringing two devils together. She leaves the invitations to future parties to Martin and suggests he go to see if she did something as terrible as she suspects. Martin carries her away to another hotel and changes shirts, keeping Tenma's tie in his suit pocket. He leaves Ava sleeping and heads back to the diner where Tenma's left an address for him, the hotel where he's staying. Martin then heads to one of the parties and finds Johan, who's been socializing extensively, and follows him to a fancy hotel and a room on the 6th floor. The other young man is here, and he wants to talk to Martin about the end of the world. The chapter ends with Martin saying this conversation went on for about an hour and was the worst terror he'd ever felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this chapter is mostly connective tissue.
It definitely is. There's like cool moments, like the slow motion kind of around her pointing out Johan and like how much is made.
I did want to...
Yeah. The fact that she's like just identifying this guy was a horrible thing that she shouldn't have done. Like how important this is, I think it really makes you feel like, oh yeah, this is like serious what she has done.
Yeah, definitely. And I love hanging out with Ava. And she's drunk as hell, and she's like, I'm a devil.
Well, I don't think she's drunk as hell. She says she's got a good buzz going on. She's not as bad as she is sometimes. What do you what do you think about her saying that she's a devil?
Well, I don't know. Well, she is a devil, but I think that's less important than her leading a horrible person to the devil. She says, I brought together Faust and Mephistopheles.
Right. Okay. And Faust is traditionally the one who you sell it's like you make a bargain with Faust to get like incredible powers or something.
Not quite. So Faust, this is a very old German folk tale that had a lot of interpretations over the centuries. But Faust was said to be a man of excessive wealth who was extremely bored with his life. Other versions have him as a man of learning that wanted more than the material world gave him and wasn't satisfied with scripture. And so, what he wanted more than anything was knowledge of everything, and power over it. And so he makes a deal. He sells his soul to the devil, to Mephistopheles, in exchange for the stuff. And then, Christian stories being what they are, he gets what's coming to him later. But the point is that, Faust survives as this cultural concept of, this is the guy who sold his soul to the devil. Anyone else who does that, they are following in his footsteps. It's a Faustian bargain, a Faustian pact. Okay. And so she brought together Faust with the devil, and only evil can come from it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I wasn't sure. A lot of times there's like early Christian folklore, and I think like Catholic Apocrypha especially, there's like this idea that, the same way that like, okay, there's the angel Gabriel, and then there's other named angels and stuff in biblical mythology. I think in the same way there's a lot of named devils, and that like kind of in Protestantism especially, that just doesn't exist. It gets flattened out, and it's just, it's the devil.
Right. Yeah. So Mephistopheles, I believe, is not a separate devil. I believe it is a separate name for the main guy.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Mephistopheles is another big one. And then, of course, and I'm pretty sure that's the devil in Marvel.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Mephisto, and that's how Spider-Man resets. That's most of my knowledge of Mephisto is Spider-Man undoing Civil War, and then because everyone learns who he is in that, right? That's that whole thing. That's how a brand new day. That's how the slot run kicks off.
One more day or whatever it is. Man.
Yeah, Dan Slott lots of problems with Dan Slott, but he writes some good Spider-Man every once in a while.
Yeah.
I did have a thing that I was going to say about Ava saying that she's a devil. The thing that I thought was interesting about that is, it's kind of the question of like, is it okay to kill a devil, and what makes a person a devil? And the thing that she seems hung up on is that she dressed him up as Tenma and paraded him around.
Yeah.
Which if you reduce that down, it's like, I think it's the like manipulation, right? Like toying with a person. And that's kind of like what Johann does, right? Is like he's manipulating all these people into doing his thing. So I don't know if that's like, if I'm reading too much into it, or if the story is saying like, hey, the most devilish thing that you can do is like manipulate and control another human life. And that kind of seems like what we're getting out of the Red Rose Mansion a little bit too, right? Like the evil around that is in how these children were manipulated and changed and controlled.
That's pretty good. Like on the one hand, my instinct on this is to say that probably that's not quite what's happening here, and it's just Ava Ava feeling bad about herself
and being dramatic,
Yeah, exactly, being dramatic. But I do think the rest of that analysis is apropos to all the other stuff. This idea that what evil does is evil controls.
Mm-hmm. I think that's good.
Yeah, I think that is really good. And I also think it's important that here we are in volume 8, and we are beginning to get like some of that religious stuff is seeping its way back in after being absent for a while. But now it's this reading, there's a whole lot of it. People are really talking about Johann. They are calling him the devil, and that's so much more explicit than it was earlier.
Devils and the end of the world, and lots of stuff like that.
Of the world, yeah, and so I think even if you didn't know, like if you were reading this as it was coming out, you could probably tell that it was beginning to wind up for the end. Like all that stuff, like we're really winding the clock.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, the fact that we now have this new Johann light that has been introduced, like it's this boy with Johann face and smile.
Yeah,
it's like we're still adding pieces to this, I guess. The machine continues to get bigger.
Believe you me, Urasawa's not done yet. Yeah. So I don't know if I have anything else particularly to say. But I like Ava. I like Martin. I like them in the same place at the same time. And yeah, let's talk about the end of the world. Is he into her,
or is he just saying this because actually I guess I shouldn't have opened that can of worms. When he says run away with me, is he into her, or is he just saying this because he doesn't want to kill her? Or is it both?
I honestly think it's more that he doesn't want to kill her.
I do too. I don't think
he
loves her.
I don't think he loves her, but I think he cares about her.
Yeah.
Is probably the way that I would put it. Okay. Chapter 125. The Devil's Friend. Late at night, a boy drags his drunk mother home. She wants him to leave her there, but if he does, she'll die. So he gets her over his shoulders, and he drags her home. Meanwhile, Martin speaks with a cheerful young man about the end of the world, and then about Martin himself. The guy seems to know everything about him, and through him, we learn the actual circumstances of Martin's past. Let's keep this quick. Martin didn't actually kill his girlfriend. His girlfriend was a drug addict. He walked in on her cheating on him with her ex and back on the drugs. She asked her... Fuck, I am all over with the pronouns today. She asked Martin to kill her, and he just left. He hears a gunshot in the hallway, runs back, she's killed herself. He takes the gun and shoots her ex. And the young man in the present says, "That's the same thing you did with your mother, isn't it? You just left her to die because she wanted to." And of course, the boy at the beginning of the chapter is Martin. And, one night he doesn't carry her home. And she died. And the young man says, the next day the police came and told you your mother had frozen to death, and you thought, it wasn't my fault. She asked me to leave her there. Of course it wasn't your fault. Your mother, your drug-addicted girlfriend, they both wanted to die. What's wrong with letting someone die if that's what they want? Ava wants to die too, doesn't she? Martin leaves the room. That was when the devil showed up. I looked away from the devil as I walked past. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. I chanted to myself like a child. He gets back to the hotel. He points a gun at Ava asleep in bed, thinking of the words of that freaky young man. In her sleep, she says, "Kenzo," and starts to cry. And Martin lowers the gun, thinking, I can't follow the devil's script, because nobody wants to die.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, where should we start here?
Yeah, this is one of the more important chapters in the reading, I would say.
Okay.
Where do we start? Do you want to start with this guy? This guy Martin's talking to?
Yeah. So, what creeps you out the most about him? Because I can say the thing, you start, and then I'll say the thing that creeps me out about him.
Just the smile. It is just how, they say it early on in the chapter. He talked exuberantly like a child. He's so into it.
Yeah.
So into all this, and then he's talking to Martin, and he's guessing at this stuff, and then he's like, yes, I was right. I'm on a roll. His enjoyment is so pure, and that's what's creepy.
Yeah, and I guess I missed that it was his excitement like a child, because there's another thing that he does where they're talking about the backstory and about Martin living with his girlfriend, and he says, was it fun living with your girlfriend? Which is something that a child asks. That's my 5-year-old little cousin. That's a question that she would ask, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just this weird sense that this dude is an undeveloped child. It's a man, but he has, it seems that, not the mental capacity, but the attitude of a young child, and it's creepy.
Yeah, he's super creepy. And I do want to know, yeah, they lampshaded a couple of times. Martin's like, how do you know all this? And we don't find out. How how does he know all this?
Well, because
I don't want to cinema sins this.
He's part of the organization. He showed up with the man who Martin works for.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
and because they talk about that, he says you worked for the baby for this many years, and then you were in prison, and that like they're coworkers is what they are, and he's higher up the rung, so he's seen his personnel file.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. It's interesting. Martin keeps, as he's doing his like, I know everything about you. Martin keeps saying, "Shut up, or I'll hit you," whatever. But like, of course he does it, and like that's such a genre move, right? Like, shut up, stop talking, and it's like as the bad guy continues to monologue. So
yeah,
like that's fun.
What I really like about that, I made a note about that too, and what I like about it is that Martin's heart isn't even in it. He's like, you're asking for it, but like he's completely impassive. His face isn't changing. Like, you can tell he's got no fight in him right now. It's just like reflex.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so then the flashback with his girlfriend who was the drug addict. I do think it's interesting, we've said like Urasawa has a bunch of different faces that he draws. He draws drug addicts the same way every time. I think we've seen this girl in 5 or 6 different places. The greasy hair, the glassy eyes.
I think you're right about that. The guy too. This is one of his favorite greasy guys.
This is the dude that Richard shot. Is what like this guy looks like. I mean, like maybe different, but
it's definitely Urasawa's. He's got a couple of stock. Yeah, his dirt bags in particular. The people that are really low down, don't have as much imagination put for them. Which is funny because, like, his goons are quite varied. Always different faces, unique faces for the goons. But
we get a great goon a little bit later.
Yeah, yes, we do. I made a note about it. Yeah, but drug addicts and prostitutes, not as much variation.
Yeah, they're flattened onto one thing, kind of.
Which is accurate for the genre, and it's just like, hey, here's something Urasawa does. Like, as a writer, here's where he's placing his imagination, and here's how he is seeing these people. And it's not like I'm going to be making any conclusions off of that, especially not moral ones, but it is something that he does, and something that I think you can see in a lot of different kinds of media, is that flattening of people in that space. And that has knock-on effects that, take a sociology class or something.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more.
The one thing I do think is interesting is the drug dealer ex-boyfriend. He's got a bunch of tattoos. I don't think have we seen characters with tattoos yet? Not a lot, and certainly not that many. Is one of them like a Manson tattoo? Oh, I don't know, but there's a very clear, like a drawn out face on his
yeah, that's the one
shoulder.
I was thinking that might be a Manson tattoo.
Here, let me look at it, and then I can.
Yeah.
I will make the definitive call on whether or not it's a Manson. No, it doesn't look like a Manson to me.
No.
It looks like I don't know what it looks like. So it looks like a gothic horror or something or other, because it's got long. It doesn't have a beard like Manson. Manson had crazy facial hair.
Oh, right.
This thing's clean cut. Whatever it is. There's a specific thing it looks like, and I can't pull it. I'll read. Someone might have figured out what that tattoo is. It's probably something specific.
Yeah. But yeah, there's the whole thing, so how does your perspective on Martin change as we learn about his backstory?
Okay, so his backstory makes him into a Joss Whedon character, is what it is. He's like, if this man was supernatural, he's like, I haven't seen Buffy, but this is just like my conception of the men in Buffy, like Spike and Angel, right? Where it's like, he is this dude who is cursed to have women fall in love with him and then beg him to murder them, right? Like, that's a Joss Whedon-ass piece of character work.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I'm getting it now.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
Which I think And like, I think this is a good backstory point. Like, honestly, you know, there's some ways in which, okay, that's kind of shitty and reductive, right? Or like, if I reduce it to that, it sounds worse than it is. But I do think it's interesting. It's like, you know, you do fiction rule of threes, right? It's like, okay, so Ava is the third woman the third woman in his life who has been like, just let me die. And like, now he's finally turning it around, and like, he's going to do the right thing this time. So like, I think it's interesting that like, one of my favorite things is like, okay, you know, and this is just like, I don't want to extend things that I say about fiction out to the real world, but I think sometimes when we're thinking about people and like things that happen, and you know, it's easy to be like, oh, I'm so complicated. All these things that happen to me are so varied and crazy. But then a lot of times it's like, it's all just the same thing happening over and over and over again. Which, you know, we've talked about a little bit. It's the same thing keeps happening. The thing that you struggle with is the thing that you struggle with. So I like that it's all tied up in this original. And I like it.
Yeah, it's fun. I also think, you know, it's really... What I like about it is this whole time that we've known Martin, we've been like, Martin, I like him, but he's a killer.
Right, because he's so calloused the way that he talks about shooting his girlfriend.
Yeah, and it was just a front.
Mm-hmm. It's because he didn't. He didn't do it. That's how he's able to talk about it so callously.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, I think that's just really interesting. Because the way he talks about it, you would never see it coming.
No. I was shocked.
That he hadn't done it, you know, and it raises the question of, like, it just makes you even more interested in an already interesting character. Just why didn't he just, like, why did he go to fucking jail? Why did he, you know... Like, sure, he would have done it. He would have done time for just, like, killing the drug dealer.
Right.
But
I guess that's a good question, because, like, the young man even points out, your lawyer pointed out that she had gunpowder burns on her hands. Like, it was obvious she had killed herself.
And you know what it is, though? You know what it is? It's not that he's lying. It's because he
thinks that he killed her.
Yeah. As good as putting the gun in his own hands. Yeah. Thinks of himself as responsible.
The other thing I like is that, like, he's leaving, he's ready to walk away. We've got sad Hulk music, and then he turns around for one last glance, and that's when the gunshot goes off. It's that classic, you know, Orpheus or Lot's wife or whatever, right? Like, don't turn around, don't look back. You just gotta go.
Yep. And then
it's the look back that gets you.
It always is. It always is. Yeah. It's super cool. It makes Martin from an already awesome character into an even awesomer one.
He's good.
Just super fucking cool.
Do you have anything to say about his mom story? I don't have as much to say about that one, if anything. It just
seems like it fits into everything else, you know. It's interesting. And it's, you know, apropos and like, oh, but that's all.
I mean, I guess we've talked about how, like, what your parents do to you is in this story, at least, it's like the things that your parents do to you.
Childhood trauma is a big deal.
Thing that defines the rest of your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess from that angle, okay. Do you have thoughts about why I can't follow the devil's script? Did we land on the same spot about what this whole discussion of his backstory was?
So the devil's script, I expect. I mean, the devil's script here is obviously, like, it doesn't matter. It's okay for people to die if they want to. It's not your responsibility. You know, like, you know, you're helping them. And this, you know, feels... It really fits into Johann's dime store Nietzsche philosophies, and it feels very of a kind with the stuff that Johann was telling the kids to get them to walk off the roof, you know, that it feels bundled to me. And you can't follow the devil's script, and this is the important thing that I think gets added to the monster, like, concept, is nobody wants to die.
Yeah.
I think that's super important.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I agree with everything you said there, but I think even more than that, like, I don't think it's just I think it's even more than just being bundled with what Johann does. I think what we're seeing here with this episode is, like, this young man is trying to do what Johann does, right? Johann's whole thing is, I know your backstory, right?
Oh,
Like, I
yeah.
relate to you, I do your whole thing, and then I point you at the person that I want you to kill, and you do it, right? And that's like the young man is trying to do it here, right? But he's not as good at it as Johan
That's
is.
so...
He can't pull it off.
Matt, that's so good. That's so dummy good, actually.
It's exciting.
How I cannot believe I missed that. Yeah.
This is why there's two of us.
It's not even that he's not as good at it. It's that Martin actually gives a shit about Ava. I think the mistake that the Devil's Friend made was targeting him towards someone that he knew and that he cared about.
Okay.
All the other...
It's usually just like it's people who are tied to Johan. So then because there's no connection, they can't, snap it. Okay.
Yeah, there's no... Like, Johan doesn't put his pawns into situations where there's a likelihood of some emotional thing getting in and messing with the conditioning.
And I mean, that's the thing that Lunga always says, right, about the crime scenes, is there's no evidence of emotion here, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad we were able to talk through this.
Yeah. Okay. I think, wow, man, tons of stuff out of 125.
Yeah, 125 is a good one.
We gotta pick up the pace here. We're already an hour and we've only done 3 chapters.
I think we'll move pretty quickly through a couple of the ones that are ahead of us.
I think so. Yeah, 126 then.
126, The Man Who Knew Too Much. 3 men show up at Martin and Ava's hotel room looking for Ava. Martin says he took care of her, and they tell him he's pathetic for being willing to die for a woman. There's an extremely cool shootout. We then cut to 5 minutes earlier. Martin wakes Ava up and tells her to slip out the back and head for Tenma's hotel room. Ava gets dressed and says she'll be waiting at the Frankfurt Central Station and repeats Martin's plea from earlier. Run away with me. Martin balks in the same way that she does and orders her to go to Tenma, to which she scoffs. She heads to leave anyways and tells him not to get killed. Martin replies with the hardest line ever. Look, I got no reason to die for you. The two share a meaningful look as she leaves, and then we're back in the gunfight. Martin stumbles out into the parking lot and smokes a cigarette, amazed that he's survived. And then there's another henchman, looking terrified. Martin levels his shot, but his luck has run out along with his bullets. The goon shoots, catching Martin right in the gut. We cut back to the framing narrative for Martin's story, in the car, racing towards Dr. Tenma as he bleeds out. They finally arrived, and Tenma applies first aid as Martin passes out. When he comes to, he laughs when he realizes that Ava isn't there, and instead has gone to Frankfurt Station to wait for him. He realizes he's about to die and relays the information he's gathered. They're still doing experiments at the Red Rose Mansion. The devil has an apprentice, and the guy with the glasses is a survivor of the Red Rose Mansion who wants to create an absolute ruler. His name is Peter Shopik. Shopik thinks he can control the devil, but Martin thinks otherwise. He rattles off the hotel address to Tenma, begging him not to look at the devil and not follow his script. As he dies, he says a few more things. Nobody wants to die. He's happy he doesn't have to see the devil anymore, and Ava is waiting for him at the station. We cut to the station, and Ava is indeed waiting for him.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The summary pretty much does everything here.
There's not too much going on here. It's a good one. It's a good chapter.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. The one thing in the summary that you forgot to mention, which was so important, or it's so cool, is that moment when his luck ran out along with his bullets. You madman! What a good.
I was real proud when I wrote that. Yeah, I was like, line. I gotta feel like a crime. I gotta do noir. Yeah. I can do it.
You did, but you forgot to say what Martin says when he pulls the trigger and he's out of bullets, which is, "I'm empty. Damn, I suck."
Yeah, it's good. I mean, but to me, that feels like that is the anime version of something that Tarantino would want to write, is the thing.
Oh, yeah. Like, what a line. What a one-liner. He's got the cigarette in his mouth and...
looking cool as hell.
Shot by this fucking...
And the goon that shoots him is so scared. He's so nervous.
Yeah.
And then, because he gets Martin in the gut, and Martin's like, God damn it, at least aim. Now he's just in pain, dying slowly.
Yeah.
In the end, I mean, he kind of had a meaningless death. I mean, he saved Ava, so I guess his death didn't have meaning, but, like, poor dude.
Sucks that he died.
Yeah.
Miss you, Martin. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Also, there is a hotel mentioned, the Yatazite Hotel. This is not a real hotel. However, Yatazite, which I can't be saying super well, means season. It's their word for a season of the year. So there's a lot of stuff in Germany that is named Yatazite, one way or the other. So. Yeah.
Oh! I did have one note. Martin tells Ava, "I stole a maid's uniform. Put that on and slip out the back." And when she gets dressed, no, she puts on her own clothes. She's gonna live and die as Ava Heinemann.
Yep. Good old Ava.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there she is, forlorn, checking her watch in the train station. Man. Yeah. The very well-drawn train station, I should also cool. add.
Yeah.
Really well put together. Okay. Chapter 127. Sad Reunion. As Ava waits for Martin, she speaks with the janitor, who knows from long years of experience that she's waiting for a man. And he says she's lucky to have someone to wait for at all. Someone shows up. It isn't Martin. It's Tenma. And Tenma tells Ava what's going on, and they get some coffee while Ava waits for the train. And she tells Tenma about how shitty she was to Martin. And she asks, "Why am I still alive?" And Tenma says, "Because Martin protected you." Ava asks, "Why would he do that?" And he says, "Because nobody wants to die. He said he was lucky that you were waiting for him at the station. He said he was a lucky guy." He tells Ava to go to Munich to see Reichwein and to go to the cops to tell them everything. And she says she will. She asks Tenma to go with her, tell them everything. And Tenma says he's too close. And he's going to finish this. No more victims. Meanwhile, on the train, Ava remembers the man in the glasses, Peter Chapek, mention an address. And so she decides to end it herself as well. And the chapter ends with Ava buying a gun from a shady gentleman to shoot the devil.
I just want to say, I'm going to the porn store to buy a gun to kill the devil is 100% a drill tweet.
God. God. Wow. You're so... Yeah.
It's good.
Man. It's a good chapter. It's got a lot of good feeling to it. It has, I like the different like sections of it. Mm-hmm. You know, the bit with the janitor, and then the bit with her and Tenma, and
yeah, there's some fun lines to the janitor where, you know, he's like, "Oh, you're waiting for a man," and she says, "Yeah," you know, and he says, "I've seen this before," and she says, "Well, is he gonna come?" And he's like, "Not a fortune teller." Like, that's a fun little conversation.
I do like it. I really like when Tenma shows up and the janitor says to himself, "I guess he ain't the one."
Uh-huh.
I thought that was really, really good. What a perfect Urasawa side character.
Oh yeah, he's in and out. Like, oh, he does his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, really great. One note that I had. So we've talked a lot about Urasawa face-only manga, and you know, I just want you guys, if you ever wondered, like, well, gosh, well, what is that, and really, how does he make it work? Look at the conversation here between Tenma and Ava in this little train station diner, and see what Urasawa does with the camera. Like, he will often use the same camera angles, but zoom in or zoom out, or then jump to a new camera angle. Like, he is always moving the camera around. You're never seeing the same thing twice, right? Because if this was a TV show, a lot of the stuff would just be back
slow
and
pans.
Forth.
Yeah,
here's a shot of Tenma, here's a shot of Ava. And Urasawa has spent so long making manga about people talking to each other that he knows how to do it and still keep it dynamic, even though it's the same subject in every shot, but every shot is a different shot, and that keeps it feeling very mobile, even though it's by any other measure, extremely static.
Yeah. Another note that I have about stuff that I think keeps it feeling dynamic is, when they're talking about, when she's trying to puzzle out why did he die for her, and she starts to get a little weepy. And this isn't new, like text boxes being jagged when someone's shouting, but I do think it's neat that her text boxes get just very slightly a little bit wobbly, like she's on the verge of tears. It's a fun little background effect. The other thing that I like a lot that we see, it's whenever Tenma, or I guess anyone, is like considering murder as an option, we get the thing where like we can't see their eyes and we can just feel like the shadow of their downturned gaze. It's like the Guts Berserk eyes, right? Where the darkness just radiating out of their face and we can't see their eyes anymore.
Yeah.
It happens a couple times this reading.
Murder
eyes
is a state of disconnection,
mm-hmm.
So it's kind of this idea that like whenever you're planning murder, whenever murder is involved, you're alone. You're making yourself alone. Can't even connect to the audience.
Yeah, and I always think it's interesting the ways in which they do it, because here it's not like his hair is covering his eyes; it's just literally the panel borders like cut off where his eyes would be.
And like the little shadow coming down. It's really cool. Yeah, and I like this chapter because this is Ava at actual rock bottom.
Yes.
We thought we'd seen her at rock bottom, but this is the actual thing.
No, Ava at rock bottom is drinking coffee, not booze. That is how you know she is at rock bottom.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you hate it, we all know that the impetus for change ends up happening when we actually hurt someone in ways that we can't take back, and here she is grappling with it and doing her best to change just a little. Having memorial for Martin, coming to terms with Tenma.
This is finally when
she is,
right. And I mean, this is finally when she's like, because a bunch of people over the course of the story have said, you need to help us help Tenma, and she's always like, no, I'm not going to do that. And now she's ready to.
Yeah, she doesn't have her bluster or bravado. She doesn't have her booze. She is just really sad in this train station diner. And it's hard not to feel for her, And it's, man, you remember episode 1 when I said it was going to grow on you.
I've always liked, well, maybe I haven't always liked Ava, but there have been points where I've liked her more than others, and I like her right now.
Yeah, man. She just gets so much.
Her trying to kill Johan's not going to end well. It's what I'm going to say. Maybe she'll get to kill Roberto. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be good. Wonder what's up with him right now.
Where is our trusted friend? He wasn't here this week.
The address she gets, the address she overhears is on Haldecker Strasse. Strasse meaning street. And so I checked. There is no Haldecker. There is a Heidecker and a Waldecker, but there is no Haldecker. So,
good stuff.
Make of that what you will. And one thing I think is cool is that so much of is that like these last 4 chapters have all taken place over the course of one night.
Oh yeah.
Basically, I think that's super cool.
Time is compressing as maybe we spin our wheels just a little bit. I don't know. That is kind of how I feel about the next chapter, especially.
Yeah, a bit. It's a bit. Well, let's figure it out when we get there.
Okay. Do you have any more about 127?
I do not.
Okay, so then on to 128, Nina's memory. We cut to Dieter and Nina living in another crappy apartment. Nina's gotten another job as a waitress to support them and is trying to convince Dieter that he needs to leave and go back to Dr. Reichwein so he can go to school and make friends. Dieter pushes back, saying he learned stuff from her and that she and Tenma are his friends, which, by the way, extreme precocious homeschool kid energy. Nina heads out on a daily walk, which Dieter tries to dissuade her from. Every day she takes the same route, hoping to remember. The room above the Three Frogs where she and Johann and her mother lived quietly, almost in secret. What was her name then? She doesn't remember. But she does remember a man reaching out, dragging Johann down the stairs. Next, the drive towards the mansion, and the memory of the man urging her not to hide things from him. She thinks about the old regime and the things that they did, and how that tied back to the mansion. Dieter and Nina walk the ruins of the Red Rose, now covered in graffiti, remembering the reading group, which attempted to create superior students. Nina has a flash of the massive bodies at the dinner party and realizes that she must have seen it herself. She has memories of Johann running away through the rose bushes, cutting himself, and she feels the pain. In the past as well as the present, she's wandered into the rose bushes. They go back to the Three Frogs, where she remembers reading The Nameless Monster, thinking of Franz Bonaparte, and the man who reached out saying human beings can become anything. She remembers waiting for Johann's return, facing the door, smiling, and saying welcome home. This triggers a trance. She gets a split-second image of Peter Schapek telling her to come here, and says that the door doesn't open. She screams that she remembers. Dieter breaks her out of the trance in a panic and says that she doesn't have to remember, and they should just go back to Dr. Reichwein and make new happy memories like Tenma told them to. Nina hugs Dieter, and the two fly back to Munich, where a smiling Dr. Reichwein welcomes them home. Yeah. I think this is a good, hey, in case you missed what was going on during Nina's adventure in the Czech Republic, here is a summary of her flashback. Yeah. We're going to spell it out for you, piece by piece.
It has been a little while.
Yeah.
I do think that it is wheel spinning, but I also think the important thing about it is that all of the questions Nina's asking are priming the audience to ask those same questions.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's getting the audience ready to be like, it's signposting. It's priming us. It's
these are the important questions.
Matters right now. Yeah. And so in that sense, I think that it's actually a pretty clean way to communicate all that.
Oh,
I think
it's
you're right that there's
super
not a lot
clean.
Of momentum. Yeah.
It's really elegant, I think, because instead of her just laying it out, she's asking questions that, some of them we know the answers to. Some of them we can think about what the answers are. Some of them we don't know. And it's a very good summary. We've talked about summary chapters before. I think this is a good one. Yeah,
totally. And I really, when she has the flashback of the guy asking, come with me or something like that, and then she screams, man, that's so scary.
It's real scary. Where she keeps saying welcome home over and over and again, and the bubbles are exploding outwards. I mean, Dieter freaks out.
Totally. Yeah.
He's fine, I'll go to school. Please, just stop remembering.
I love Dieter. And thank God for Dieter. Dieter OG. Dieter is fucking out here today. Thank God.
Yeah. Hey, now I have more theories about Johann and Nina. Johann, Anna. Because we're primed to ask these questions now, right? Okay, so my questions now, maybe my thoughts are, maybe the experiment was to make both twins the same person. They didn't have a name because they were one entity. I mean, I am you, you are me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
almost as if I saw it myself, she says.
Right. I think she did see it herself. So I don't know if it's they've been able to induce some sort of shared personality between the two of them, or if not treating them as individuals has caused them to behave as one unit. And then, when they're named at the border, that's what splits them. I don't know.
I don't know, but it is, totally. We are seeing Nina's confusion at literally which of these children she is.
Where she ends and where Johann begins, yeah.
Yeah, literally, because one of them is her and one of them is not, but she welcomed herself home, but Johann was the one who went, so which one is she?
I opened the door
Like,
and welcomed
which of her
myself home
memories?
is like
Yeah.
such a good line. Like that is
Yeah.
a banger. That's been like the thing in the back half for Nina is like I opened the door and welcomed myself home. Like it's
And,
terrifying. It's so scary.
It's so scary. And I think the thing that really makes it scary is that nothing about this, even if Johann has a couple of supernatural powers, nothing about this is supernatural. These are all things that could actually happen to a person.
Mm-hmm.
And it would fuck you up so bad.
It's dreamlike and scary, yeah. And it's happening.
And
it's like
yes, it's got this very true crime feel to it, where it's not inconceivable. It's not like a weird laboratory. It's just like they're not doing like genetic experiments. They're doing psychological ones.
Because initially I expected genetic experiments in the like, oh, there's going to be a secret lab under the mansion.
And in a way it is, but it's so much more grounded than that, and that makes it, so much more relatable. Like, ugh. Yeah, it's super creepy. And I really, and then welcome home, says Reichfein. Thanks, Reichfein.
It's good. Thank you, Dr. Reichfein. Love you.
Yep. Alrighty. Okay, chapter 129. Reading group memories. It's Verdeman. Verdeman's here. And we're in Prague. And there's Jan Suk. Hi, Jan. He's in a terrible mood. And we find out that Verdeman and Jan are going to interview some children that we know were members of the Rose Mansion reading group. And as they talk to the people, sometimes they learn things, sometimes they don't. Clearly, there's something a little bit weird about these reading group people. Verdeman keeps asking questions, and Jan keeps telling him to stop doing that because he's only there to observe. He shouldn't be asking anything. And Verdeman's like, "You kids, you do everything by the book. I bet you even talk to girls by the book too." And there's one guy they talk to who says that when they did the readings at the reading group, feelings like sadness, joy, and fear went away. When they read the books, they truly felt nothing at all. Their own name didn't even matter. True freedom. That's what it felt like. And he mentions that a man came to visit one day at the mansion from a radio station, and he said he liked the song Over the Rainbow. Verdeman says, "Tell me about that man!" And then him and Jan have a little heart-to-heart, and they come to an understanding. And so then they return to the room, and the guy they were interviewing says that the man from the radio station told him to get out of there while he still could, basically, and go to where his family was. And then he cut ties with the Red Rose Mansion, and he says, "Can I go now? My wife and child are waiting." This, of course, signals to us that this guy got out. He's okay. And Jan and Verdeman are like, "All right, we can do this. We can be a team now." And then there's a couple more witnesses to question. Next, come in, please.
Good chapter.
This chapter is good. I really like it. This feels like, it's fun seeing Verdeman like, oh, this is what the character was kind of built for.
Mm-hmm.
And I every time we encounter Verdeman, I'm like, what could Urasawa have done earlier on to make him to kind of approach all that a little bit more tightly?
Yeah.
Because this is great. I love seeing Verdeman. And I love seeing Verdeman and Suk in the same place at the same time.
Yes.
Like, what an interesting dynamic.
Yes. So at first I was struggling to understand. I was like, well, why are we sending Verdeman here for these interviews, right? Because, like, he's a lawyer. Like, it would make more sense to send, like, Reichwein or Rudy or, like, someone else with, like, a psychological background almost, right? But then I realized, right, it's, like, in their conversation, in the heart-to-heart they have when they're out in the hallway after Verdeman has his outburst and Suk is like, you can't do that. Like, and Vertiman goes through his whole thing, like, I have a personal stake in this. I have a personal connection to it. Like, that was my dad. Like, I need to know what happened because my whole sense of trust and justice and stuff is like based on, you know, this lie that was at the center of my being. And we get for a split second, who does Jan think about? Jan thinks about Nina Johan, or Anna Johan, right? And then I realized, like, oh, that's why we've paired these two guys together, because it's two guys who've had their senses of trust and justice completely broken, right? And that's why Jan's in such a bad mood, right? So Vertiman is here to, like, it's these two dudes who are hurt in the same way, and they've got to figure out how to fix it, how to find a monster, right?
Yeah. It's a great character combo, and so unexpected and executed so well.
Good.
Like, you know, and Jan is in such a mood as we've never seen him in. Like, he's so
bad mood.
Bad mood. Real bitchy today, Jan.
Yeah.
You know, and normally I get annoyed when two characters I like are, like, coming to blows over stuff. But here it works so well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that I think works there, right, is like they realize that they have to, it's personal connections, as always, right? It's like realizing that they have to, like, lean in on their personal stake in this case to be able to pursue it effectively, I think is the thing.
I don't think I have anything in specific. It is definitely, you know, it's sort of a relief to be like, oh, good. You know, Vertiman's dad was a spy, but a nice guy, you know, like he was maybe trying from the inside. But it's more important to Vertiman than it is to me, frankly.
Yeah. No, for sure. The only thing that I think is interesting there is, you know, when we had our long discussion about they're blackpilling the kids, right? Like with fiction,
yeah.
Right? Like, okay, how does Vertiman's dad get this kid out? He tells him a different story. He tells him the story of the Wizard of Oz, right? Like Dorothy was trying to get back home to her family over the rainbow. Right? It's like he breaks this trance with a different story. It's these weird kind of abstract stories about no feelings and no names and things were making these kids sick or weird or something. I don't know. He tells a different one to undo it.
And it's also like, it's an interesting thing because, you know, the Wizard of Oz, we have also seen that used, I think, as an image for, like, East and West, like trying, you know, like Oz kind of being the West to the people in the East behind.
Well, I mean, like, that is a story that has the Wicked Witch of the East, the Wicked Witch of the West. Like, it's the cardinal directions are, like, important in that story.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know, but it's interesting to see those things. Connected, and it's just I think the interesting thing about it is this idea that, like, the West and the East in Monster are not one thing each. It's not East good, West bad. It's not West good, East bad. Like, we see both of these places from so many angles where, like, yeah, there was all of this super oppressive shit going on in the East. And also, here's the West, and they're coming in with all their capitalist bullshit. And kind of freedom as well. Like, at least there's freedom of speech, but it's, you know, it's not as simple as that. Like, all the politics stuff, I think what's interesting about it in Monster is that all we see are the perspectives. Like, all we get are these angles, and we're not told which one is the one that takes precedence. It's just that all of these different characters have had different experiences as regarding these things, you know, and that's all it is different people and their personal experiences of it. And I think that you know, because earlier in the manga I was thinking, like, well, okay, what does Monster want us to think about East and West? And at this point, I don't think Monster wants us to have a specific, I don't think it wants us to come out with a specific feeling about it. I think it just wants us to think about it.
Yeah, probably. I think it's still maybe a little bit softer on the West than it would be on the East, right, is the thing. Like, because the thing that we keep coming back to is, like, all of these horrible things that happened under the old regime. I think but, like, look at the West is a little bit more subdued. Like,
maybe.
I don't know.
I think you're right that, like, the idea of the West as being a symbol of freedom, I think that is powerful for us as American readers.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think maybe it takes on an extra bit of juice for us. But, but then, like, think about all the evil that came down after the wall. The evil wasn't coming from the east. The evil came from the west.
Right.
All of the good stuff and, like, all of the bad stuff came from the west in one go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's soft, maybe it's not. That's kind of above our pay grade.
Yeah, who knows?
Perhaps. But it's interesting the angle it takes.
Yeah, it's good. I love it when Yansuk's like, "What do you think you are, my dad? You're not my dad. I didn't have a dad, and not having a dad would be better than having you as a dad. I hate you."
Yeah, and there's Verdeman, a new dad.
It's so funny.
He's like, okay, yeah, it is.
My shirt that says I don't have daddy issues is raising a lot of questions that are answered by my shirt.
Right. God. Okay, do you want to chapter 130?
Chapter 130, Doorway to a Memory. Nina once again flashes through her memory of herself welcoming herself home, the man who appears to be Shopik reaching for her, and the room at the mansion full of dead bodies. And then she's back, absent-mindedly watering the garden behind Reichwein's house. Reichwein, Dieter, Nina, Lotta, and Carl eat lunch inside, reading a letter from Tenma, explaining that Ava is being targeted by an organization and that he's getting close to Johann and will be able to end it all soon. Carl takes the letter to some forensic investigators who work for his father in an attempt to figure out where it came from, and Nina asks Reichwein to help her finish remembering everything. He expresses some reservations, but says he'll help if that's what she wants. At Reichwein's office, Rudy leads Nina through repressed memory therapy again. Before they start, she warns him that she might say something terrible. Nina is able to remember some details about her parents. Her father was a soldier who was killed, and her mother was an anti-government activist who tried to escape but was caught. Nina remembers the Red Rose Mansion, the bodies, and the thorns. She flashes to the memory of her welcoming herself home and then goes blank, turning her eyes down in silence. Rudy prompts her for more details, and Nina says that she's not Nina, but doesn't want to say her real name. He asks her again to say her name, and then Nina lunges forward and begins to choke Rudy, saying, "I'm home." He snaps his fingers and wakes her from the trance as everyone rushes in. Nina's afraid that she said something terrible, but Rudy doesn't tell her what she really did, just that she was too afraid to say the terrible thing, even under heavy hypnosis. Meanwhile, Carl has found out that the letter came from Frankfurt. The next day, Reichwein and Dieter find Nina's room empty once more, with a letter saying she's gone to Frankfurt to find Tenma. She's remembered everything and can save Tenma by telling him everything about Johann and his plans.
She
choked him.
She fucking choked him. But even more than that, she was just watering the plants having trauma flashbacks.
Not good.
It was so relatable.
I mean, she's just in big baggy jeans and a hoodie, and she's just sitting out there like sad. And
man. Just in the trauma, just watering the fucking begonias out there.
Johnny Jesus Cash, Christ. What have I become? My deepest
God.
friend.
God.
Playing in the background as she waters the plants. Yeah.
Yeah. And she chokes him.
She gets the dark murder Johann eyes, the guts berserk shadow under him.
Fucking regression hypnosis.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last time.
We did.
You know, it's very of its time. It's like goofy as hell.
It ages so poorly.
Yeah.
You know, because and I think the really fun thing about it as something that ages is that it was like how long did that craze last? 10 years? 15?
Probably.
I mean, it
was over when the kids grew up, so you know.
Yeah, it really, I just feel like that part of the manga didn't work as intended for very long at all.
No. And I mean, it just becomes kind of a pain, right? Like, okay, we just got to go through. They flip. Like, especially on a reread, I was like, all right, let's just get through this. Like, I think her going into the trance and being, you know, almost possessed, that is the most interesting part of this.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, actually, the most interesting part of this is that Rudy's not doing interviews with the tape recorder anymore. He's taking notes on a piece of paper.
Damn, Matt. Damn.
I don't know what that means, but
You're so fucking right. Well, oh, man.
It's his whole conversation with Lunga about objectivity and subjectivity, right? And like him continuing to grow as a person, right? Beyond just this weird obsession with collecting people's traumas.
That is really nice. That is really interesting. Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't have everybody in the room for this one.
Yeah.
Like, they're all waiting right outside the room, which isn't much better, but sure.
Well, I like that Rudy doesn't tell them all. Yeah. Like, yeah, she went berserk and tried to murder me. Like,
he doesn't even tell her that. She doesn't know.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Like, he's a good doctor.
Yeah. I also think it's fun that she remembers a bunch of stuff and we don't get to know what it is.
Uh-huh.
Like, we're like, oh, fuck. What did she remember? She knows everything. We now know Nina has all the answers. We don't.
Well, and I think the thing that is most interesting about her having all the answers is it's not, we're going to go kill Johan. I have all the answers. I can go save Tenma.
Mm-hmm.
We've completely we've put the gun away. We're doing something different now.
Yeah, that's cool. And Reichwein likes Vice first.
Yeah, I love another scene of everyone having dinner at Reichwein's place. Always good. Him and Dieter are building a desk so he could do school, and Reichwein has a beer at lunch and is like, well, hopefully I can still build this desk.
Carl and Lotta come over. It's such a good... This chapter and the next chapter are very powerful images of community.
Mm-hmm.
And community is very important in Monster, and especially as we kind of head into this last bit. Oh, community. Oh, the idea
having dinner together community is important.
Oh, it's, yep. Yeah. Okay.
I do think it's a little funky that, I mean, this same setup was how Nina left last time. She did repressed memory therapy with Rudy and then left a note saying, I'm running away. I remembered everything. And she does it again here. Like, this is her level up sequence. Is she has to have repressed memory therapy and then leave a note.
Yeah, this is her hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if we mentioned the color pages at the start, which they are the same style, like these strips. We had some of these last reading, I think.
I think so.
You know, these cool high color things. It's very interesting. But yeah, I don't think. Man, these are memory regression therapy. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, what happened to you? So many people all dead. And Rudy asks, is that what your brother saw? And she says the rose thorns hurt. And then she's the one who gets welcomed home. There's no way she wasn't the one there for the massacre. There's no way at all.
She was there.
Absolutely had to be there.
Goddamn, we're getting back to Ben Carson separating the fucking Siamese twins. I said it way back, and I cut it out because I wasn't sure if it was a thing or not, but it is. Holy cow.
Oh, you did cut that out.
I did cut it out, and I'm going to put it right here. Oh,
those are my thoughts on the
hang
matter.
on. This is unrelated, but now I got to look something up. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not gonna. I'm going to reveal this in a very wild way. Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay. All right. This is after this happened. So, who is the most famous neurosurgeon in the world, in real life?
I don't fucking know.
Ben Carson. He has to. He's the neurosurgeon who separated the Siamese twins.
Oh. Ooh.
And, I mean, now, of course, we know Ben Carson because he was on Trump's cabinet. He ran for president in the Republican Party. Like, whole career tainted. He was a very big deal. There's the book about him. He has to. I am certain this man was, him being a neurosurgeon. I've got to bake this take a little bit more. We'll cut this out. Ben Carson goes to my church. Not the one here, but the one I went to growing up. I would sit next to him in church.
Wow.
Not good. We were all like, come on, what are you doing?
Star power.
What are you doing? Dark chapter of his career. We'll cut this out. I don't have, anyway.
Great. Yeah, good, because it was a good gift for Matt. I can't believe you cut that out. 'Cause I really
well, I
liked
wasn't sure if it was gonna pan out. They're like, and that was the second episode. Like now, I wouldn't do that. I leave most of my goofy things in.
Second episode, you did that? Holy shit! I can't believe we're pulling something from that far back. All right. Okay, chapter 131. A Happy Table. Tenma follows Peter Chapek in Frankfurt. And he follows him a bit. Except there's the cops. Whoops. And he runs from the cops, and then he gets hit by Truck Coon. And he wakes up with his arm and leg bandaged. A kid comes in and brings him some flowers. And then a man comes in and says, "Hey, you're finally awake." And says,
I thought you
"You're
were going
lucky
to do the Skyrim thing there for a second.
That is what I did. I just couldn't remember any more of it.
I don't know either. I just, it's burned into my brain.
It's so good. Maybe we could, why don't we splice in the actual audio?
I'll have it saying, "Hey, you," under you saying, "Hey, you."
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. So the man says that the man knows who Tenma is. He's the local dentist. His name is Milan Kolas, and he saw Tenma get hit by a car. Tenma finds out that he's in the Turkish quarter of Frankfurt, which is getting all knocked down for quote-unquote redevelopment. They tried to fight it back during the previous time we were in Frankfurt, but too late now. All the Turks are mostly gone. Time marches on, and capitalism's a bitch. He's invited to dinner with the family, and one of the members of the family here is Vietnamese, and so it's just a bunch of folks from kind of all over, and so everybody makes food from a different country every night. And as one of the characters said, that's the life. And I couldn't agree more. Tenma tells them a little bit about Japanese food, and they all think it's very fun. And he says it's been a long time since he's had such good food in such good company. He looks around the room he's staying in. There's a bunch of pictures of Peter Chapek. He looks at the desk. There's a gun and a log of Peter Chapek's movements. And Milan says, "Didn't it strike you as odd? The police didn't all just happen to show up at once to arrest you. They were staking me out. I'm going to kill Peter Chapek."
Dude, it's so good. That's such a good ending.
It's such a good ending to a chapter, to a volume, to a reading, and this chapter in general is really, really nice.
Yeah, it's a good way to end the reading. And man, I just want to underscore how cool that is, where it's you're in a stranger's house and you look up and the mission that you're on is there on the wall.
Yeah. What?
I was like, what? Did they pull this from Tenma's notes? What is going on?
Yeah.
Then it's no, I'm doing it too, buddy.
He's on it. He's in it. And I can't wait for the next reading to find out why, because I can't remember why.
My guess is that, here's one of my guesses, is that
what's your guess?
Chapek is behind this redevelopment of the Turkish quarter, right? His whole thing, they're looking for a new Hitler or whatever, and you made a joke about capitalism raises everything down, but that's what this is. It's they're doing the soft version of ethnic genocide, right? Just
totally. They're
gentrifying
the fire didn't work, so let's redline it instead.
Yeah.
Totally.
It might be he's involved in the conspiracy, right, and knows about the Red Rose Mansion or whatever, but even if it was just as simple as this is the man who kicked us out of our homes, I'm going to kill him.
Totally.
And the fact that the cops are protecting this guy, that feeds into it too.
Totally. Very, very thriller type conspiracy.
Yeah.
And it is super cool to just fall into this guy's lap. And
yeah.
That's awesome.
I think
I just love the focus on food.
Good. Very good.
I love it's some Vietnamese food. They got some pho going on. And they rib Milan for not being a good cook, so they can't have any Czech food.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Tenma describes the Oyakodon, so for my listeners who don't know, there's a Japanese dish, which is you have rice, and you have egg, and you have chicken. And they call it Oyakodon, which means parent and child bowl, because you have the chicken and the egg in the same bowl. And everybody at the table finds that very, very funny.
It's good. It's a good bit. I always like it when Tenma talks about Japan because he doesn't do it very often. It was like when him and Grimmer talked about Gundam and the song that was popular when he was on his visit to Japan.
Or when he was with the mercenary and he made them some nikujaga.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Was it nikujaga? Or was it just, I don't remember what it was. I think it was nikujaga, though.
When he made them chopsticks too was the other thing, right?
Yes.
Because then there's the fun bit about this reminded me of that a lot because we have another like grizzled European guy with like a small Asian child living in the house.
Yeah,
with them.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love Milan's design a lot. I think he has
cool
one of the more like realistic faces. Like I feel like I can imagine Milan in real life instantly.
Well, he's bigger. Jean Reno is who he is. He looks like Jean Reno, but he's like a little bit wider. I think is his thing.
Jean Reno.
The guy who plays Leon the Professional.
I see. Okay.
Which another very good movie. Caveats, of course, on that movie for the Natalie Portman stuff, but that's a good movie.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, to me, it's a really sweet chapter that then sets up something very cool that I'm excited to learn more about next time. I don't have a lot to say about it.
It's a good combo of thriller stuff, and I mean, like, there's the fun silent opening with Tenma running from the cops, and then like, I love that his shoes fly off when he gets hit by the van. Like,
yes, oh
it's
yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah, and there's that fun like fade in thing with the panels progressively getting larger. We saw that a bit a couple chapters ago, but I want you to talk about it here.
I made that same note. Like this happened with Martin when he was going out and coming back in. We haven't seen this before. This is like a new move that Urasawa was like, "Ooh, this is fun. I can do." Yeah,
he's done this in smaller form a couple of times before. But this time it's like a full move, like a full cinematic, like
it's like a loading bar almost is what it looks
like.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
it is a very fun visualization. So, but yeah,
it's a good chapter.
Tenma, Tenma's like, it's been so long, and we can hear it, we can see it, and he's just been isolating himself for such a long time.
Yeah. I also like that we're back in the Turkish quarter. Like we talked a couple chapters ago about how like time continues to go on, right? And like the world is changing. The locations that we visited in the story things are happening when we come back to them. Like I think that's good. It's cool. Yeah.
Well, all right. I think that's more or less that.
I think that's
favorite Tenma moment.
I think it is. I don't know. It might be Tenma getting beat up by Martin for being a creep in the beginning. We talked about that for a while.
That's pretty good. I think for me, it's such good food, such good company.
It's good.
Of course, it is. Yep. Favorite side character?
Favorite side character. I mean, I've got to go Martin because we're not gonna see him again. This was a small moment, and I liked that he held on to the tie and like continued to go to these parties, like that it was something about like, because he has the thought about, I think he flashes back to her saying like, I dressed you up like Tenma, and then he changes clothes and then grabs the tie anyways, right?
Yeah.
And we know from earlier he said like, if it wasn't for that horrible tie, I wouldn't be bleeding out in the back of the car. So it's like, this is it's him holding on to it and continue going deeper in is what doomed him. I like the tie.
Totally. I think my favorite Martin moment is when, like I said before, when he realizes that Ava's in danger and gets up without a word and just goes. I think that's amazing characterization.
Favorite unnamed character. Oh, I like the nervous henchman who shoots Martin in the gut.
That's
like
good.
That this guy is scared.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that guy a lot too. And I like the janitor.
Oh, the janitor's great.
Yeah. Well, great. Yeah. So I think
who's rocking this week? Do we have
Oh, fuck me. Who's
Is it two consecutive weeks of Martin rocking? Or two consecutive episodes?
Rock very, very hard. Hold on. No, the guy who's rocking. The guy who's rocking is children's reading group adults, because one of the guys they interviewed.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. That poor dude.
We didn't talk about this guy. Dude, this fucking guy. So his feelings got so master blasted that both of his kids committed suicide. And then he divorced his wife. And he doesn't even care. Like, he's just kind of confused about it, faintly. So that guy's rocking pretty hard, I think.
Reading group kids. I did think it was interesting. I didn't bring this up then. I think it's, like, interesting that the two guys we see are almost, like, reruns at guys we've seen before. Like, Lipsky, his whole thing is he thought he'd be more sad when it burned down, but he doesn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Right?
And then the other one, like, does the grimmer thing. Yeah. Totally.
Mm-hmm. So, their feelings got master blasted out of them is such a good phrase. Like,
yeah. Oh my god. I'm so, I feel like, listeners, I hope I've been on my game today because I feel so hot and sweaty in this room in my new place. Super hot in here, and I'm so hungry. I hope you've had a really good time. I have also had a good time. Matt, who are you? Where can you find you on the internet?
I'm Matt Fennell. You can find me at blarple.net, BLARPLE.net. Also on Blue Sky. I'm Matt Fennell on Blue Sky. Hey, I have a new project that is starting because I needed another project that's going to go on indefinitely, and I may or may not finish. Meteor and the its associated things weren't enough. I am launching a new solo podcast called Elf Nonsense. I've been thinking about this one for a long time, since the end of Game of Thrones, the TV show, back in 2019. I have a large stack of paperback fantasy novels because I work near a used bookstore, and paperback fantasy novels are very cheap. So I have a really big stack of books, some that you've heard of, some that you haven't, old, new, all over. I'm going to be doing something in the style of like Sean McTiernan, who does SF Ultra is his current series. In the past, he's done All Units and some other things about like horror movies, like Hundreds of Pixelated Dead Bodies. It's going to be somewhere between. Think of it this way: I'm going to be doing video essays, but not with video. I'm just going to be doing podcast essays about fantasy novels. They're not going to be very long. They'll probably be pretty informal. Again, like, inspired by Range Touch, inspired by Sean McTiernan, inspired by what we're doing here. Probably not a set schedule, but I'm going to try to get them out regularly. The first book that I'm going to be reading is The Black Company by Glenn Cook, which I think is like the genesis of grimdark fantasy. So I'm excited about that one. But yeah, Elf Nonsense. You can find it at elfnonsense.com. I bought the domain because of course I did.
Great.
So that's it. Quinn, where can the people find you?
You can find my RPG work at 200proof.itch.io. And that's it.
That's it.
That's about it.
Next time, hang on. I was going to say, next time we're reading,
what is it?
132 through 141.
Yep. I'm gonna eat more. Eat more next time, and maybe get like an in-room AC, because this is gnarly. This is really gnarly.
You gotta get at least a fan.
Say,
yeah,
dude. Woof. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being a friend.